Welcome to Sharika Talks, Unraveling the Truth, a journalist's quest. Subscribe for the truth.
Facts known to the outer world. The Jagannath Temple in Puri is among the Char Dham pilgrimage sites of Hinduism and is revered for its architectural, acoustic, and ritualistic anomalies. The temple's flag always flies against the wind, no birds fly directly above the dome, and the sounds of the nearby sea vanish within the sanctum. Its kitchen is considered the largest in the world, yet the prasadam is never wasted or insufficient. The Brahma Padartha, a relic housed inside the wooden idols and replaced every 12 years during Navakalabara, remains one of the most sacred and secretive elements of Indian temple lore. The Chola, Pandya, and Chera dynasties were the three dominant Tamil kingdoms of South India, known for their vast maritime trade, temple architecture, and accumulation of wealth. The Cholas built monumental temples like the Brihadiswara Temple in Thanjavur and expanded as far as Southeast Asia. The Pandyas ruled from Madurai and were associated with the Meenakshi Temple, while the Chera dynasty was rooted in Kerala. They all developed trade networks connecting them to Roman and Arabian merchants. Inscriptions and copper plates from these dynasties testify to their immense temple treasuries and global commerce. Among the many enigmatic figures from this era stands Bodhidharma, a Tamil prince and monk whose journey to China laid the philosophical and martial foundations of Zen and Shaolin, bridging two ancient civilizations in ways yet to be fully understood. Equally cloaked in mystery are the Siddhars, whose alchemical knowledge is said to have produced Navapashanam, a medicinal compound of 9 poisons believed to transmute into elixirs when ritually prepared and consecrated into temple idols, such as those attributed to the legendary Palani Murugan shrine. Varanasi, also known as Benares or Kashi, is widely regarded as one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. There exist various ancient structures still unknown to man, not only in the city but also in other ancient sites. Multiple international trafficking syndicates operate in South Asia, with India serving as a source, transit, and destination country. Trafficking of women and minors often occurs under the guise of domestic labor, marriage, or job opportunities. Some organizations countering it have documented how surveillance failures, police corruption, and lack of interstate coordination lead to the disappearance of thousands annually. Some missing children never appear in any record again, lost to untraceable routes and hidden networks that often span continents. Part 3, The Tale of a Tiger and the Trail of a Shadow, Chapter 23, Echoes of an Unseen War. As Balbandar Singh swung the metal rod aiming for his skull, Sachin effortlessly ducked below the attack. Without wasting an ounce of momentum, he spun on the spot, still crouched, pivoting on his right leg, his left heel connected with a powerful kick to Balbandar's groin. Just as Balbandar was recovering his balance from the missed swing, he lost it completely. Sachin, in total control of the fight, planted his left foot on Balbandar's hip. In a split second, he pulled on the still extended steel rod, using Balbandar's body like a step to launch himself upward. At the peak of his ascent, he brought his elbow down in a vicious, sharp swing, landing it on the exact center of Balbandar's head, one of the weakest parts of the skull and the least protected by his turban. As Sachin landed on the ground from a height of over 6 feet, he didn't loosen his grip on the steel rod, but the semi-conscious Balbandar did as he fell down. Sachin struck the steel rod against Balbandar's neck. The sound of bone cracking was audible for several meters as he roared with rage. A loud bang echoed. There, Sachin, who had now taken out a black handgun, dark as death itself, stood beside Balbandar's body. A fountain of thick, red liquid erupted from a small hole that had just appeared in the center of Balbandar's forehead. A loud scream erupted from Sharika's throat. Sharika jolted awake with that scream, springing upright from her bed, soaked in sweat, her whole body trembling. Her consciousness still hovered between dream and reality. She checked her watch to confirm she was truly awake. June 24th, 2027, 7:13 a.m. Almost a month had passed since the Amritsar incident. Her exam results were out that day. Despite delays in her academic year due to the Mahakumbh Mela, her college had returned to its regular schedule. She had secured fourth rank in her class. Her convocation ceremony was slated for August 1st, and her grandfather's joy knew no bounds. She had called Anuj, Farhana, and Riaz to share the news. The Stolen Idols documentary, created by her, Anuj, and Farhana, was completed in 1 week. They weren't able to track Suresh Kapoor, and she assumed the Palani idol sale had been completed in some concrete safe house in Pakistan. Though their documentary was well made and received praise, it didn't go viral. Because the rest of India was gripped not by idols, but by the Amritsar mystery. Who were the 6 unidentified Sikh men? What was the weapon they had used? Why had no organization claimed responsibility? She had visited Riaz the day after the incident. He had been perfectly healthy and said he remembered nothing after the metallic sphere detonated. The explosion had released ultrasonic waves inaudible to the human ear, and forensics found that version of carfentanil absorbed through the skin rendered people unconscious. After the documentary, Sharika had taken on a few freelance projects. She had been offered a position at her college's AJK Mass Communication Center, but she declined. She wanted to stay independent. She would remain in Delhi until convocation and then return to Kerala. The last person Sharika called to inform about her results was her mentor, Sheila Bhatia. "Sheila, ma'am, it's Sharika. My results were just announced. I got the 4th rank," Sharika said respectfully. "Oh, congratulations, dear. I was about to call you today." "Glad you called me," Sheila's warm voice replied. "Are you on any projects, or will you be free for a few weeks?" "Yes, ma'am, I'm free," she replied, her curiosity piqued. "Then would you like to work with me on a very important project? I have also called Anuj, Farhana, and Riaz. It will be just the 5 of us. I am only calling the ones I absolutely trust." "Yes, ma'am," Sharika tried to hide the excitement trembling in her voice. "Okay, then. Can we meet the day after tomorrow at my home? I'll send the location. Come at 11 a.m. sharp." "Sure, ma'am." Sharika had to vacate her hostel before June 30th. Her uncle Aravind had welcomed her to his home. Her grandpa said he would join her in late July. Sharika had started packing and decided to move to Uncle Aravind's house the next day. She had started packing slowly, dismantling the war room that had become her wall. The maps of India dotted with location tags, the newspaper cuttings, the timelines. Her entire Project Umbra was coming down. As she took apart the web of intrigue, she checked Sachin's location. The tracker was still active. He was in Taxila, Pakistan, an ancient center of learning dating back to the 6th century BCE, which some scholars consider the world's oldest university. What is he doing there? She wondered. Stealing antique scrolls? Or is he linked to the terrorist groups? If so, that might explain why he was still in Pakistan. Perhaps the counterattack by the 6 Sikh men was an unexpected complication for him and his organization. She didn't know how to continue Project Umbra after the tracker eventually died, but a plan had been slowly forming in the back of her mind. While she had arrived in Delhi 2 years ago with all her belongings packed into a single 90L rucksack, she now also had a 70L soft-shell trolley bag and a 30L college bag, mostly filled with camera gear and books. She shifted to Uncle Aravind's luxury mansion the next day, where Mira Auntie welcomed her warmly. On June 26th, she boarded the metro, refusing Uncle Aravind's generous offer to drop her. "I'll manage, Uncle," she had insisted. Now, aboard a metro train to the Lotus Temple station, she checked Sachin's location one more time. The icon had moved. It had entered India early that morning and was now moving towards Rajasthan by road. She deboarded and took a shared auto rickshaw, 2 of the main transport mediums that kept the city of Delhi moving. She carried a small laptop bag on her shoulder and wore an orange kurta with blue jeans. Her hair, now over 2 feet long, pulled back in a neat ponytail. Sheila Bhatia's home was an oasis of green, surrounded by flowering and medicinal plants growing in small pots and grow bags. Apart from a 4-meter wide path for a car, every inch of the front yard was covered with plants. She saw a blue, elegant vintage ambassador car parked in the porch beside a Royal Enfield bike, two relics of India's past. Seeing those two vehicles that had shaped India's modern history side by side was a colorful sight. A pair of men's shoes sat in front of the house. As she rang the bell, Sheila welcomed her into a hall where Riaz was already seated. 5 minutes later, Anuj and Farhana joined them. As they all settled, Sharika noticed a portrait of Sheila's late husband. She knew very little about her mentor's personal life. "I know none of you have a clue what this is about," Sheila began, her voice calm but firm, drawing everyone's full attention. "But before we start, I have to make some things clear. Anything I say in this meeting stays in this room. This is very important. We still don't know if we will be able to publish this story, but this is a project that has international attention, so I want your promise of secrecy." As everyone nodded, she continued, "This is a project that the Prime Minister of India gave to me directly." The shock was visible on two faces. Anuj and Farhana jerked upright, their eyes wide. Sharika felt a jolt but managed to keep her composure. Riaz, ever the stoic, sat without a change in expression. For a man who had filmed terrorist attacks live, this was just another briefing. "Do you know which is the most advanced secret intelligence agency in the world?" Sheila asked. "Mossad?" Farhana suggested. "CIA?" Sharika questioned. "And the intelligence agency of India? RAW?" Anuj added. "Okay," Sheila said, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Now tell me, has any of you heard of the Black Tiger?" "I have," Sharika said. "I read about him somewhere. A RAW agent, codenamed Black Tiger, who spied for India and Pakistan. He was eventually caught and killed in prison. I don't recall his real name." Sheila's smile widened. She folded her hands on the table. "Search him," she instructed. Sharika took out her iPhone and after a few taps, read aloud. His name was Rajendra Khatri. He joined RAW when he was just 18. After 5 years of training, he was sent into Pakistan as an undercover agent. He took on an alias, lived as a Muslim Pakistani citizen, graduated from a college there, and then passed their army selection. She paused, feeling the weight of the story settle in. He started as a helicopter pilot, but because of his skills, he was recruited into their special forces as a commando and quickly rose to the rank of major. All that time, he was feeding secret intelligence to India. Because of the information he provided, India was able to counter several attacks from Pakistani terrorists and their military. The Pakistani High Command grew frustrated, knowing they had a mole, but they never suspected it was Rajendra Khatri. They even included him in the meetings where they discussed the spy in their midst. But in 1983, she continued, her tone darkening slightly, things went wrong. India sent another man to assist the Black Tiger, but he was caught and, under interrogation, gave up Rajendra's identity. They tortured him for 2 years, but Rajendra Khatri never spilled a single piece of information. After 2 years of brutal torment, he was sentenced to death in 1985, but it was later commuted to a life sentence. The Indian government completely disavowed him, abandoning their agent. Abandoned, he died in a Pakistani prison in 2002. His letters, smuggled to his mother, told a haunting story of sacrifice and betrayal. Those letters were leaked to the press also, which made a huge outcry in public. When Sharika looked up, Sheila's eyes gleamed with both pride and pain. "Let that story hang in there. Now, you all know about the incident in Amritsar last month. Riaz here witnessed it from ground zero," Sheila said, glancing at him briefly before locking eyes with the others. "Now tell me, does anyone have even a theory about what truly unfolded that day?" She paused. The room remained silent. 14 militants were captured. All of them claimed to be part of independent extremist factions seeking jihad. They insisted they attacked the Golden Temple only because they were provoked, because they were attacked first. But their testimonies were fragmented, almost rehearsed, and not a single known terrorist organization has claimed responsibility till now. Her voice grew firmer. That alone should disturb you. But that's not all. The 6 mysterious Sikh men who neutralized the attackers with precision weapons and tactics no one had ever seen before vanished without a trace. No identity, no motive, no message. They were like ghosts. She drew a long breath. The truth is this. There are 2 powerful nexuses operating in the shadows, 2 organizations the world knows nothing about. We are setting out to expose them, and that path is going to be dangerous, possibly even deadly. She let the words linger in the heavy silence before continuing. I'm giving each of you one last chance. If you're unsure, leave now. Because once I reveal what I'm about to say next, there is no turning back. Her gaze swept across the room. No one moved. Just as she expected. Good, she said, her smile gone, replaced by an expression of pure gravity. First, we have to clarify some truths. If I say that almost every answer you gave to my questions about the world's most advanced intelligence agency, about the fate of the Black Tiger, was not true, would you believe me? As Sharika leaned in to hear the revelations Sheila was about to give, she didn't know that something resembling the dream she saw 2 days ago had already indeed happened. And everything was connected like strands of a woven spider's web, converging into something she couldn't even imagine. End of chapter 23.
Thank you for watching Unraveling the Truth, A Journalist's Quest. Subscribe to stay updated on Sharika's journey. Stay tuned for the next part.
Disclaimer. Unraveling the Truth, A Journalist's Quest is a work of fiction. The experiences, ideas, and theories presented by the characters, including the books they write, are purely fictional and do not reflect real-world events, beliefs, or ideologies. While some incidents and characters may be inspired by real-world scenarios, they are entirely fictionalized for storytelling purposes. The author does not endorse or share the viewpoints expressed by any character in this novel. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or real events is purely coincidental. Viewer discretion is advised.